Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be making a couple of enclosures for two Phidippus Regius Jumping Spider slings. Please correct me if I pronounce that wrong. I am new to spider keeping, and these are my first spiders. I'm very excited to receive them. They are not here yet, so that will be in a following video. Really? Let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, so we're going to be using these two containers that I got from just local secondhand stores. They are just made of plastic. They were only a couple bucks each, really cheap. They should be really, really good for this particular project. So we have some substrate here that I got from just local pet shops. It was less than $20. They're likewise this cork, really, really cheap. I got a nice big chunk for 10 bucks. I totally glued one of my pirate coins to the top of this container. There was a hole, so I needed to block it. And to do this, I just used some shoe goo that I had on hand. It really worked rather nicely. I had to keep the lid off for a while because the fumes got trapped inside. So we're going to start with some substrate. Jumping spiders don't need a lot because they don't burrow. They're very arboreal and they just need a lot of climbing room. But we're going to add a little bit of this just for sake of having something natural to lock on. Okay, so that should be absolutely plenty. We want it to have a good lot of climbing room to exercise. All right, so that should be enough for that one too. So we're just gonna set this aside then. Next, we are going to add the cork. I chose the pieces so that they would fit properly. This one wedges in there real nice, and I like that it doesn't actually touch the bottom. It's gonna encourage the jumper to jump up there and exercise more, so I really like this. And this next bit's gonna go in here. It doesn't go up as high as the other one, but that's okay. I have a couple of really cool pieces we're going to affix to the side that's gonna give the jumper that goes in here a lot of really cool exercise space. Anyway, I got this at, again, a secondhand store. It was only a couple bucks. It came off of an aquarium piece. Here it is here. It was just cheap plastic, and I was able to cut the house off really, really easily. I had to cut off a few pieces so that it would actually be able to be affixed to the side. Now, to actually affix these to the sides, you could use crazy glue if you wanted, but I kind of really want to potentially reuse these containers for different enclosures, so we're going to be using some really sturdy double-sided tape that I got. Now, you could probably just use a pair of scissors if you wanted to, but I wanted to try and get as much accuracy as I could, so I'm using a box cutter. Either way, be careful when you're cutting. Alright, so that's on there nice and solid. I made sure to get some good double-sided tape. I'm actually holding up a couple of pewter fleur-de-lis on our wooden table that weigh probably about 2 pounds each. So this tiny, tiny little lightweight plastic thing is going to hold there very nicely. And I'm also going to put in this piece of dried fern that we actually have around our room on our ceiling. We're going to put this in here just like this in some weird fashion so that it has more things to jump around on, climb about, and just really be able to fully utilize this enclosure. I mean, we're just working with babies. This is not going to be their permanent enclosures. I'm going to make them bigger ones over time because I just ordered seeds. Alright, so I'm pretty satisfied with this one for the moment. We have to still make the holes, but let's move on to the next one now. So we're going to start by putting this little bridge that was also with a little house on the side. How cool is that? Vertical bridge. So let's get our tape and do some more cutting. Alright, so that looks like it's on there nice and good. Next, we're going to take this little piece of quartz and we're going to do the same thing. Okay, so that is done, and we're just going to stick it down here, kind of a midpoint thing, so that the spider has something else to crawl on, jump on. And I love that it's a crystal. I'm actually really wanting to put a crystal in the other one too. I love crystals, and I love crystal energy, and I would love to share that with my spiders. And just like before, we're going to add another piece of the fern, just for some greenery and potentially other things for the spider to climb on, jump on. And just for gets and jiggles, we're going to throw in a few pieces of this natural coconut husk. Just for, again, a bit more of a natural feel on the bed of the enclosure.
Oh, no.
Next, power drill. And 32nd of an inch drill bits that I had to order online because they just aren't available in stores. As you can see, these pieces are not only very, very tiny, they are also somewhat fragile. They break under very little pressure, so be careful with them. Having one of these go flying into a carpet and potentially having it introduced to your foot not only would be extremely painful, but would just really ultimately suck. We need ventilation holes. Alright, so 2 sets of ventilation holes at the bottom and 1 set at the top. I feel like that's okay because the lids are, I'm going to try and keep them open-ish as a few times a day. It's going to be a lot of space because they're actually rather big, and again, these are just babies. But I'm going to be watching them really, really close because I really want them to do well. These are my first spiders. Alright, I think we are done. I'm super happy with these. I do need another crystal for this one. I need to go buy one. I don't have one that's suitable yet. But I'm going to do that soon, and I hope my jumping spiders, my 2 Phidippus Regius, come in the mail sometime this week. Stay tuned for that video. This has been a really fun project, and skip to the outro. Okay, so that was fun. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Please like if you did. Subscribe if you did. Thumbs down if you didn't. Comment any suggestions, or if you didn't like the video, comment reasons why you didn't. Comment ways that I can improve. Big shout out to Tarantula Cat for the inspiration to want to keep spiders after a lifetime of Arachnophobia. She has a really amazing channel, and she did a video recently about DIY spider enclosures that I'd also like to shout out. Thank you! Video is down in the description, as well as a link to her channel. So, with that all being said, thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.